Hello, it's Ernie Live. That makes me Ernie. I'm here with my good buddy Walt. Say hello, Walt.
Hello, I'm Walt.
And we're here with the opening night cast party of On Your Feet, the Gloria Estefan musical. We're so excited because we have two of the cast with us, and we're taking your questions. So remember, write questions, comments below this feed as it's happening. Walt will follow those questions.
On Facebook.
And then we're going to take all your names, toss them into a hat, or in this case, a bowl, and somebody's going to win a pair of tickets to another show. We'll tell you about that in a little bit. But to be eligible, you got to play. So, Walt.
What?
Who's with us tonight?
I'm here. Jason Martinez from the show.
Jason Martinez is here.
I have a name tag for you, Jason, because I'll forget.
There you go.
Should I put that in my forehead?
No, put it on your shirt. Put it on your shirt.
Perfect. Welcome. And there's somebody sitting next to Jason.
Nancy Ticotin. Ticotin. Like nicotine.
That's right.
Well, and they have the actual joy of getting to play the parents of Gloria Estefan in the musical. Fabulous performance. You guys, a lot of energy, wonderful standout. They're supporting roles, but boy, oh boy, you wouldn't know it. They just come. Tell the folks out there what the show is about.
Well, the show is pretty much the story of Gloria Estefan and when she met Emilio Estefan and coming from Cuba. So there's a little bit of the political history involved coming here and all the songs that she's written and the mission that they had in trying to put out a positive message about Hispanics, and in spite of not having any support from their record company, they put out Conga, Come and Shake Your Body Baby, do that Conga, where, that created what we call the crossover music, Latino style in English, and me as a teenager, I was like, oh my God, that's me! She's singing to me, so many people identified with what she is, and then the story of her life where she had that almost, that bus accident where she was almost paralyzed, and she came back after that, and he gets to play her dad, has a beautiful song in the first act.
Yeah, it's truly at the heart of the story. It's a love story. It's a love, this amazing love between Gloria and Emilio, and a love that they share of wanting to bring their music and culture to the States and blend it and create this crossover thing. So you go from these humble beginnings in Cuba to basically a Latin star pop icon for that generation. So
how did the show come into your world? How did you end up in it?
Mine was a really weird. Mine's a really weird story. I
Almost
was actually
like
on tour with Frankie Valli as a season. I was touring with Frankie Valli, and I got a call from an old friend of mine, Andy Signor, who was our associate director, and he said, "Listen, I want you to send in a video. We're looking for this role." And it was literally, they were in rehearsals already for a week.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need it like in the next couple of days. We got to make a decision. And I was like, I don't know if I want to, tear away from what I'm doing. I haven't seen the show. I'm like, And
plus you have a family.
And I have a family.
And that's a
yeah.
huge decision.
So everything kind of, to make a long story short, I literally had to pack my life up in 3 days and jump into rehearsals.
And run off and join the show.
Yeah, and exactly, yeah.
Okay, one real shallow question real quick. The Shaka Gray, is that real or put in?
Put in. Come on.
I was going to try and make this mysterious thing, but no, he ruins it for me. I put it in.
Walt, what's going on Facebook world?
Well, I have some questions. Brandon Doan wants to know, are any of the songs in the show written specifically for the show?
There's
Good
one.
Nancy.
There's one song in the second act that I actually get to sing with Mauricio Martinez, who plays Emilio. Gloria Estefan's daughter, Emily, had written the music to it years ago, and then the two of them wrote the lyrics together for this show. Otherwise, everything else in the show had been recorded prior.
Yeah.
Good question.
And I must say, though, when you're talking about the different folks in the cast, very ugly cast.
I
All
know,
of you. Homely,
I know.
right down the line.
It's a hard thing to
It
do.
is a great-looking cast.
We're-
Each of you must just sit around backstage and say, God, you're pretty, and you're pretty. Oh, I'm pretty, too. Oh, my. It's just embarrassing to have to sit next to her. Next one.
Hey, Nicole Pena. Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Nicole wants to know, are either of you of Cuban ancestry?
I am not. I am. It's so interesting, our ancestry, right? Because my mother's Puerto Rican and my father is first generation Russian. And
Really?
Jason,
My mother is the Russian side, and my father is the Mexican side.
can you believe
Yeah.
Look
that?
at that.
How rare two people.
Yeah.
And
So
the
if
family
you two
interesting.
really had a child, depending on how the genes work, you could have a Russian child.
We could.
I don't know how that works exactly. Okay, but talking about ethnic background,
Right.
is it true you were in the movie The Wiz?
Yes. I was one of the dancers. That was a long time ago. Yep.
So what are your memories of the film?
Oh my God, it was the most fun I ever had on anything I ever did. Yeah, it was so much fun working with all these fantastic dancers. I was with Dance Theater of Harlem, Alvin Ailey Dance Company,
Yeah.
Fred Benjamin. I was in a dance company just at that time too, Ballet Hispanico of New York. So for me to be in with, also everybody was African American except me, and I was like, what am I doing here? But I loved it.
Yeah.
I love
Did
to
you
be
work
able
with
to-
any of the stars in it?
Of
Were
course.
Where do we find you? If we're watching the film, where do
You
we
won't
look for
find
you?
me. I would tell you, but I'm not telling you.
Oh, we're all gonna there. Everyone's got their homework, so you got to start watching The Wiz and find her in it. Okay, well,
Where's the show going next?
where are you going next, Jason?
We're going to Cleveland,
Thank you, Mary.
Cleveland for 3 weeks.
Cleveland.
We actually have a week layoff after this, and then we go to Cleveland for 3 weeks.
Are any of you spending your week layoff in Houston, relaxing, enjoying all the lovely
No, I'm
humidity
sorry.
and heat?
We're going to our family.
Going back home.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Ohio, right? Not Cleveland, Texas. Because
Right,
Ohio,
right.
Ohio.
Cleveland, Texas? Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well,
Ohio.
what's next?
Well,
All right, I'll let you work on that because I got a question then for
Mark
Jake.
Levine says you're both amazing, and he
Mark.
hopes you have a great time in Houston.
Thank
Oh,
you,
Mark.
thank you,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
guys.
thank you.
Okay, Jason, fourth generation performer.
Yeah, so I have like my great grandmother. Great grandmother was like in vaudeville. They were the Goldfader sisters. That's my Russian side. That's all the Russian
Yeah.
side of the family. So, like Russian Jewish immigrant, right? They were like sister acts, and then they made their daughters, my grandmother and her sister, Dora, a sister act, and then my mom and my aunt were a sister act for a second there too, and yeah,
Wow.
so and then I got thrown into it.
No
I actually
sister
rebelled
act for
from
you?
it for a second.
Yeah.
My grandfather on my mom's side, 106 years old, still alive, but was the layman. Like laid bricks, was like a plumber, became a jeweler, an electrician. Like he did everything, and I was like, yeah, I want to
what
go work
you're
in a
gonna do.
factory. And I tried that for a second, and I was like, I got called for an audition. I always played guitar and wrote songs, and got called for an audition, and ended up getting it, and then never looked back.
Smell of the grease paint pulled you right in
It
there.
was like I was raised by it. So
Nancy, you didn't tell us how this show came into your life.
Well, I worked actually with Jerry Mitchell, our director, and Sergio Trujillo, our choreographer, in a show called Jerome Robbins Broadway.
Yes.
On Broadway. In fact, Sergio and I were partners in the audition together, and we auditioned for Jerry. And so I've known those guys for a long, long time. And when I heard they were doing the tour, I was like, I'm gonna come in. And I auditioned in April, but didn't hear about it until June that I got it. Yeah. it
Did you
was a
think,
long
"Oh,
time."
move on, I'm doing
I
something
thought,
else?
I thought, they hired somebody, and I was thrilled. I'm thrilled to be doing this.
I have a little note here that says you debuted on Broadway at 10 years old.
I did. I was in The King and I. Myself, my sister, and my brother. We're all my siblings are in show business, and we were children of the King at City
Who was your
Center.
king?
Michael Kermoyan and Constance Towers was.
Constance Towers.
Yeah,
Oh,
was
how
at City Center,
cool.
and we did that, and we got our equity cards.
Well, we're talking with cast from On Your Feet, the Gloria Estefan musical. We're taking your questions right now. Actually, Walt's taking them. And everybody that asks a question tonight is being entered into a drawing. I'm kind of gotten bit by the theater bug, and somebody talked me into being in a show. So I'm in a show at the Music Box Theater where I play a PBS television reporter named Ernie Manous.
Wow.
It was hard for them to cast it, but they found the right guy. So I've got a pair of tickets for it. It's running for 2 more weeks, and you can pick the show you want to come to. We'll let you know
Excellent.
if you win. Walt, who else is in the running now?
Well, Brandon Doan wants to know, are there any big dance numbers in the show?
None
Oh
at
my
all. You just kind of
gosh.
sit
There
there.
are like 10 dance numbers, and these are the most fabulous dancers you will ever see. I'm in one of them.
This one.
Yes.
I'm in one of them. Yeah,
She has
fabulous.
the distinction of the best dress in the whole show. When she comes out in that flashback dress?
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
my God, I look
It's
at
a
that. I was like,
fabulous
wow.
number. I'm thrilled. And we have the original Miami Sound Machine Band on stage.
Is that who's
with
playing?
us? 5 of the 10 musicians are the original. And that's like,
That's amazing.
when I go off stage, it's like I don't need to do anything after that. It's so.
What I think is fun about the show is so it opens and it starts and there's dancing and you think, okay, we're going to see an upbeat Broadway musical dance. And then there are some steps in that opening number. You're like, what? Did they just do that?
Yeah.
It's a one. Who choreographed?
Sergio Trujillo, the guy I
There you go.
auditioned
Well,
for
then-
with Jerome Robbins' Broadway, yeah.
Then that makes sense. Well, other questions.
Let's
You have to also
see.
read some of the comments.
Nancy's number is one of the best. Brandon, wait until you see it. From Mark
Oh.
Levine.
We liked your number. So there's a
Thank
point
you.
where you folks come out into the audience and grab audience members, end of the first act, kind of
Calm
with
down.
dancing.
Yeah.
You guys go out in that, right?
I don't do it.
I do.
Have you ever pulled anyone up and had anything
yes.
bizarre?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're working with a huge variable. So sometimes
Right.
I'll like pull up somebody, and they don't want to get pulled up, and then eventually they're like, okay, and then I'll sit in their seat, just like to put them on the spot for a second. But I have so much fun in that. I love working with audience members and doing that kind of stuff. So that's a really fun part of the show for me.
Here's a question I'm sure you guys are asked all the time, but has Gloria come and seen your production?
Oh,
any,
my God, yes.
Any reaction to it? Have you had any interaction?
A lot of interaction. I mean, I had to learn about her mother through her because her mother actually passed away this year and never got to see the show. She refused to leave Miami to go there. My character, you know how I play it? She's very strict and disciplined and so stubborn and strong-headed. She was just like that. And I worked with her for a long time. We talked and she cried. We held each other.
Oh, my God.
Worked on the music, worked on the character. Oh, yeah,
She
very
was
much involved.
extremely involved.
Very
When we were doing the tech, she was there every day, right? Like in the 10th row with her iPad, just watching the show and like taking notes, giving people notes. And she was like available at any time. I would go out there and be like, I have a question about your father. She'd be like, yeah, come on. And I would chat with her,
Very accessible.
all the time.
Okay, I've talked with actors who some really like that interaction, others don't. They want to find the character and create the character because they feel they're not impersonating the character. So how about for you? Where do you
Well,
fall
I
on
think that we still are ourselves. I am not her mother, but I do want to know the information because there is a script that describes pretty much who she is. And so speaking with her and getting more insight and background on who she is helps me to fill in all the spaces that I wouldn't normally do. But then you also bring yourself. You can't help it. I still have to be Nancy playing this role.
Yeah, you have to tread lightly with that, right? Because you want to do that character justice and pay homage to that character, but at the same time, you want to make it your own. And I asked Gloria like a lot about like isms, like what did he do? Did he laugh a certain way? What were things that physicalities that he did? And I just tried to incorporate a little of those things so that she could see it and be like, yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah. Okay, Walt, what do you have for me?
All right, Mark Levine's loving this. So is Brandon. Brandon Doan wants to know what your favorite number is, and Mark Levine wants to know what are your favorite moments in the show.
My favorite number is Mi Tierra. I mean, come on. It's a fantastic
We're both
song.
going to pick our soul.
And no, it's true. And my favorite,
My favorite part is when someone else is working.
and my favorite moment actually is when I get to sing that song that Emily and Gloria both wrote. When I sing that with Mauricio in the second act, because it's so tender and it's such a different aspect of the character, musically and personality-wise.
One of my favorite moments is, it's that flashback. It's such a cool. Mi Tierra is such a cool like peek back into like that Cuba before the revolution, and you jump back from moments ago. Gloria and me, mother and father. I'm in a wheelchair, after Vietnam, and we're this couple that's dealing with this crazy thing. She has to take care of me. To this vibrant couple back in 1950s Cuba. It's such a cool moment.
And I get to kiss him.
And even though you've heard all that, it is a very uplifting, fun show. It sounds like all of this heavy stuff, but my God, the show gets moved.
The show wouldn't be a show without a little drama.
You have to have drama.
Yeah.
You have to have,
But you know what?
Conflict.
Alex Dinelaris does such a great job.
A writer,
of
the
creating-
writer.
Or the writer, the guy who wrote the book, who is also an Oscar winner for Birdcage and has done...
Birdman.
I'm sorry,
Not Birdcage.
Birdman, my bad. And has done a ton of other stuff. Has this great way of creating these moments of getting the audience a little bit angst and then bursting them with his humor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just relieves you, and you walk out of there with this triumphant feeling. I mean, it's a great show.
Well,
Mark Levine agrees.
Mark Levine
Right?
agrees.
Yes.
Okay, the show is here through Sunday.
That's right.
You're at the Hobby Center,
Absolutely.
downtown Houston. There are tickets. You should come and see this. If you love theater, come and see it. If you love Gloria Estefan, come and see it. If you love these two, come and see it. If you don't love them, still come and see it. It's a great show. But we got to do something right now. We got to pull some tickets. They're also trying to wrap us up, and you guys keep chatting with us. Okay, one of you, which one wants to pull?
I'll do it.
You do it.
Why are there only so few in there? I saw names going through. Okay.
What do you-
Open her up and let's see who won. Who won?
Brandon!
Brandon, you won a pair of tickets
Oh
not
my
to see
God.
this show, but to come see me in a show. I'm sorry, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, thank you both for doing this.
Oh, pleasure.
Nancy,
Thank you
Jason,
so
thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you so much.
Remember, keep an eye out for this. Share this feed on your feed. Get it out there. Let people see it. Come and see the show. Enjoy a show. Theater is so important. A wonderful way to share the arts. We're happy to share our little part with you right here. Like the Houston Public Media Facebook page. That helps too. Until next time, these are our guests.
Adios.
I'm Ernie
Happy
Manous.
Thanksgiving.
I'm Walt.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.